Hey guys, it's Kim Brink Jansen from KimBrinkJansen.com, the place that you go to for deeper spiritual work and learning how to live life guided. So today, walking on the beach, as I usually do if you follow some of my videos, walking on the beach for me is such an amazing process of clarity and of connection to who we really are for me. And today when I was walking on the beach, I did my normal walk, which is about 7 kilometres, both together. And what I realised when I got to the end of the walk that I usually take, that I wasn't finished. And so as I do from a place of living my life guided, I kept walking. And I literally walked to another place that I'd never been to before. As I did that, I was just walking. I pretty much have no thoughts at that time. People ask me, do I meditate? I don't really meditate all that much. I suppose the walking is the thing that takes me to that place of literally clearing my mind to receive what I need to know. And as I was walking, I realized that I'd taken myself to a place where I was bored. When I got to that place of being bored, I then realized that I have a big fear around being bored. And being bored for me is probably one of the things that I pretty much resist. Now, people might say, well, how can you be bored? You've got 4 children, you run a big business, and your husband works away. And I can easily be bored if I wanted to be bored, because I have created a life and a lifestyle that allows me to do whatever I like. And I'm very, very blessed for it. But it does take time. It has taken time. And again, that's what I teach, is how you can create a life and a lifestyle that suits you. The thing is, what I realized walking on the beach and getting myself to a place where I was bored, I found the resistance. Now, I've always said, and this is what a lot of my clients will say, is that what you resist persists. So I knew that once I'd gotten myself to a place of boredom, usually the pattern is that I would create something to think about, or I would create something to take my focus away from the boredom and for me to be focusing on something. But in that place and that time, I realized that I needed to stay in the boredom. And as I stayed in the boredom, and I was still walking, but you can be walking and be bored. As I stayed in the boredom, I then realized that I had emotions coming up that I'd never really dealt with. And as I connected to those, there were a lot of memories of experiences that I'd had that I'd never dealt with. I'd kind of just had them and kept moving through. But as I was walking along the beach, memories came up of things that had happened, and I was upset about them. And it was interesting because I never really thought that they were such a big deal. But it wasn't until I took myself to a place of being bored that I realized that not being bored was actually helping me. So think about, if you're not being bored, you're busy. So how many times we keep ourselves busy to avoid going to the places that we don't want to go. So that was a really interesting awareness that, yes, boredom can stop us from feeling and experiencing, but it also resisting the boredom will stop us from going within to who we really are. And a lot of people will say to me, I don't really know who I am. And the thing is it's until you go to that place where you don't like going and a lot of the times you don't really realize that you don't like something until you go there. And for me today, it was the boredom. It was literally just the place of putting myself in the place of being bored and then letting the feeling and the emotion come up that had been trapped in there, and something that had been held in there so long that it kind of manifested into something that made me really angry. So by then acknowledging and even sitting in the sadness and sitting in the awareness of being angry or being annoyed of the situations, and again, what happens is that when you allow yourself to go there, because there's no resistance there, it actually just comes and goes pretty quickly. So what I'm pretty much saying to you is that what are you resisting? What is something that you're resisting? And it could be maybe speaking to that person that you know you need to speak to, or it could be acknowledging something about yourself, or doing something for yourself that may be feeling really uncomfortable. What I'm saying is that to go there, just do it and sit in it for a little bit, even the feeling of it. And what happens when you sit in that place and you feel it, it actually just, it rises. Yes, the feeling rises and the experience rises, but then it just disappears. And so I think that for everyone who's dealing with, moving through a spiritual awakenment or some kind of growth or development in, personal development, you need to do this. You really need to go to places that you've been resisting to then realize that when you go there, they're not as bad as what you thought they were when you allow yourself to be there. What then happens after you feel the pain and you feel the uncomfortable of the experience is that there's an overwhelming sense of peace afterwards. And when you get there and you allow yourself to evolve into that place, you then realize that you'd made such a big deal about the thing that you've been resisting that you were actually resisting the resistance itself. So what are you resisting, and how are you holding yourself back? By pure resistance. And just step into whatever it is that you're resisting and allow the pain, allow the anger, allow the fear to come up in that place, and then just feel it and then watch what happens. Like, don't even do anything. Just allow it to come, allow it to go through your body, and then just see what happens. I don't want you to escape it. I don't want you to run away from it. I want you just to see exactly what happens next, because what usually then does happen is the pain or the anxiety or the fear or whatever just tends to go. And what you're left with is an overwhelming sense of peace. So if you are wanting to find some inner peace and some inner place that is within you to find out more about yourself, I do recommend stepping into resistance, because the resistance or resisting the resistance itself is the thing that's keeping you stuck. So whatever's going on in your life, be in it, be in the overwhelm, be in the fear, be in the stress. Like, just let it, like, sit there in the moment and just let it go through you, and then see what happens next. Comment below if you want to share your story, but I urge all of you to do that, because what happens is that the other side of resistance and stepping into the pain, anxiety, or whatever is an amazing amount of peace. So enjoy that. Hope you get some kind of relief over whatever you're going through, and I'll see you for another tips on the next video.